Thank you so much for participating in the 8-week Youth Leadership Program. This is week 7. Next week is the final week, and we'll have a friendly contest among the students. I'd love to get your feedback on what you've thought about the program.
I thought it was a great program, and I learned a lot, like gestures, vocal variety, and all about speaking, and I improved most of my speeches because of that.
And what did you like most?
My favorite part was when we learned gestures. I found it very interesting, and I learned a lot about it.
Would you do a youth leadership program again?
Yes, because I like learning about speeches, and I could always improve on that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Tia, for your feedback. Thank you very much for participating in this youth leadership program. I'd like to get your feedback on what you thought about it. Tell us.
Oh, I thought that it was very fun and interesting, and I improved a lot of my speeches, adding like gestures and different expressions and intonations when I talk. And I noticed how important it is when you say like different volume of your voice and your facial expressions, how it matters a lot when you talk. And it makes the speech more interesting, because if you're just like plain and just reading your speech and not doing any gestures, it's not too interesting. It's basically like a lecture. Yeah. But I thought this program was really good and organized, and I learned a lot.
Thank you very much. Please provide me with some feedback about what you thought about this youth leadership program.
So I thought it was amazing. My English and speaking of everything improved. My way to communicate improved also. Now I can do speeches in 1 second, just about thinking it. 2 years ago, or maybe 1, I was just talking and I begged every day. I didn't know how to do a speech, but now it was well organized, and I know how to do good speeches.
And would you recommend the youth leadership program to your friends?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you make new friends? Did you know anyone here before you joined?
Yeah, some persons in another club, but yes.
And were they in your group?
Mm-hmm.
They were.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for your testimonials. Kenny, I know that one of your speeches was about your love for music.
Yes.
Tell us, please, how you were able to express yourself when you did that speech.
I was really glad to do a speech because I don't really at school. Felt great to tell other people how I felt about a certain subject. For example, music, because I spent most of my life doing music, listening to music, and sometimes making music. I was very glad to do it, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Tell us a little bit about this program.
Well, this program has really helped me improve my speeches. You may not notice it from, say, week 1 to week 2 and so on, but if I look back from here all the way back to week 1, I can see that there has been a great change in vocabulary and speech working and just everything that you taught me. And it's been a great experience here. And I learned a lot, enjoyed it. And if I were to do it again, or if I had the chance, I would take it in a heartbeat.
Wonderful. Love to hear that feedback. Just so you guys know that there is going to be another program happening in January. What did you think about this program?
I really enjoyed it. It was interesting, and it let me think about what I'm going to say and think of how I could apply it to real world scenarios. And this speech class can work not only for speeches. I have used some of the information given to me in presentations and debates, body language and tone of voice, as well as not using filler words. Those were some of the most important lessons, I believe, because it's something that majority of people do not realize they are doing, but can make you sound so much more professional and act so much more interesting if done properly.
Thank you very much, Lisa. So tell me what you have gathered from this session.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that throughout this whole session, I really liked how each single class, we added new components to it. So I've learned how to use my hands, like gestures. I learned how to make pauses and change my tones so that people can understand me more. And I just really like this class. And I think that with these speeches, we get taught something that goes beyond, personally for me, in our school. And it has made me gain more confidence. And I really enjoyed this whole process.
Thank you very much, Favara. And can I ask you about evaluations? How were the evaluations compared to what you would have done in school?
I think the evaluations were also a really important part of it because it's really that you need to listen to the person, and it teaches you a bit more about like close readings and close listenings. And so I think that's really useful because if you're put on the spot, you instantly know what to do and what to say, and you've already got everything organized in your brain. So I think it's really useful.
Thank you very much, Favara, for your feedback.
Thank you.
What you've learned the past 7 weeks?
At first, I was not really accepting the fact that I was in this, but then I was like, this really helped me, and it really helped me with my speeches outside of school, like outside of the class. And I learned a lot of things, and I was able to improve myself because of the evaluations, which were really informative.
Thank you very much. Would you recommend this to a friend? Because you said you weren't into it when you first started. Would you recommend it?
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Keshav. You asked some questions today, and I loved that you were participating. Every single week you had a question for the facilitators, and you wanted clarification, and you, when called upon, you were volunteering to speak out, and I love that. So would you mind telling me a little bit about your experience with this youth leadership program? What did you think of it?
Okay, at first, I still am very nervous about going on stage. I still have a very long way to go before I have overcome my stage fright. But when I first found out I was going to participate in this program, I was kind of excited and a bit nervous because I know about my own problem that I'm really, really scared on stage. And I already have a very, very full-time schedule. Like on Wednesdays, I usually have an Arabic class right after this. So I was a bit worried how I was going to manage all of this. But once I got into the program, I was elected secretary, which I was really proud of. And I was honored that my group chose me to be the secretary. So I felt I had a sense of duty to work as the secretary and do my role properly, which is why I kind of kept myself driven to the grindstone, and I kept myself going throughout this whole program. Overall, this program is really good, and I learned a lot, such as your gestures, your emotion. You also have to include a lot of tone and mood in your voice. And I also met a lot of people, and I've improved a little bit, I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for taking up the challenge to speak on behalf of your group 6.
I thought this was a really good program. At first, I was a little uncertain when I started because I didn't really know much about Toastmasters. But as the sessions, after we went through several sessions, I started to realize this was a really informative and helpful program. It really taught me how to say my speeches properly, how to use gestures properly, and a lot of the other Toastmasters here were really helpful and gave really useful tips. So overall, I really enjoyed it. It was a very welcoming experience and it was very fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your feedback. And thank you for mentioning your facilitators that, without their time, talent, commitment to youth, we wouldn't have a youth leadership program if they didn't give up their time. So thank you to the facilitators who volunteered for this program. Thank you so much for mentioning that. Tell us a little bit about your experience in the breakout room and then the main room with everyone else.
Overall, I think this is a really great program. I was recommended to this program by one of the social workers at near my school. It's a program, and at the start, I was like, "Oh, leadership program, I better join." And it actually didn't disappoint me because I actually think this genuinely is a good program. It makes me practice writing speeches. It teaches me how to give a speech, how to grab audiences' attention. And it's actually a little pity that I can't join at exactly 4:30 because of my school problems. And in the breakout rooms, it's probably the most fun periods because we get to have like group members to share our own ideas, and all those icebreakers is really fun. And I also get to hear feedback, which is something we usually don't get in the breakout rooms from other people and their opinions, which gives me a new perspective of all of my speeches. And I absolutely love that. And again, yes, our facilitators, she did a very good job organizing us, and she's one of the reasons that we got organized and all those successful speeches.
Thank you so much. So I'd really love to hear your feedback, Sanvi, and how it went.
I really enjoyed this program. It was very welcoming. It was very fun and entertaining. It wasn't like other classes which are just boring. It was actually something I wanted to do, and I was looking forward to the whole week. It taught me a lot. I learned about gestures and how to properly write speeches. It was not just entertaining, but also very educational. So it probably helped everyone a lot.
Thank you so much. Tell us how you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed giving evaluations and speeches, getting some advices from one step to each step. Each week we had a different lesson, and doing the voice vocabulary it really helps different types of strategies, different examples, and the gestures and vocabulary itself, how would you do a great speech, use appropriate language, try to be careful for presenting. So it was really interesting, and how we actually worked in breakout rooms, doing some exercises, listening to each other. It was really interesting.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. But thank you, all of you. I'd like to acknowledge your time, your talent, your patience with us as we move through this large group of students. We were really running 8 YLPs in parallel. And without your commitment to this program, the students wouldn't be giving us the testimonials that they did today. We look forward to next week to watch them apply what they've learned. And I think that we've had a successful youth leadership program. And I think that we should all give the students and ourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. We have youth leadership programs coming up in the winter and in the spring and in the summer. So I will reach out to you. I won't wear you out next time, but thank you so much for dedicating your time to the students. And for the benefit of the students, these facilitators are not being paid to do this. They are giving back their time to the community. This is a service to our community. And we're here to serve you and serve the community. And I thank you all.